for longer than it deserves.
Welcome. So we get Ben on there. Welcome to another episode of Future Side. I'm Dan, I'm with Ben, and we're looking at Riot Quest.
Hello.
Oh, boy, are we looking at some Riot Quest.
Oh,
there's some definite.
Sneakily, there has become a lot of Riot Quest.
Yeah, they have crept up on us, I would say, in a big way. So so first of all, thanks for joining us. If you're watching us live on Twitch, you can support the show by subbing, using your Prime subscription to follow us and stuff like that. Or if you're watching it back on YouTube, just check us a follow. Just hit the notification bell, do the stuff that supports us in a way. But yeah, we're looking at the effect of Riot Quest on Warmachine. So it's been, I think it's fair to say, it's been a thing for ages that people just attribute Riot Quest to being bonkers good models in Warmachine. And I think we're simultaneously here to disprove and to agree with it at the same time. Because there's definitely...
To be honest, I don't know which we're going to do more at this point.
Yeah, this is going to be cool, right? There's 100% models on this list. I'm looking at it going, who the fuck is that? But at the same time, there's certain models which I'm sure other people will be in exactly the same boat where we go, yes, she is bonkers. Yeah.
I like that you've gone she there as well. That's
yeah. She's probably one of the worst. But anyway, this will be cool. So for reference, we're just going to go through the Riot Quest models in alphabetical order as displayed on Warmachine University. So thanks for the line of sight and the Warmachine University team for keeping the page up. It's super cool. If you're new to Warmachine and you want to look at cards and rules and don't have access to all the decks on Warroom, check it out. It's cool. But yeah,
do be aware with it that anyone can change it.
Yeah. So there's a room for error, but
it can be misinformation.
Yeah. It can be. Or
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
yeah. Hot take. But there are 58 models from at the moment for Riot Quest, and we don't really know what's happening. So obviously, Riot Quest was a bit of the love child of Hungerford, right? So I'm not sure how much it's going to continue to be supported. Obviously, they tried to do the release as a board game version, and very much sort of held their hands up and say, all right, we didn't do this right, because they were sort of aiming it at new players, but not in the right way, sort of thing, not getting the same traction. Yeah. So I think that'll be looked at again, but it'll be interesting to see how it comes to pass. But yeah, we're going to Fandango straight in with the subscription. Thanks, that's super appreciated.
Oh, amazing.
So we're gonna just dive in, and obviously some of these are going to be a lot more important to certain factions. Obviously things like mercs and minions just get to fucking play the stilly game, whereas the rest of us get to squeeze in one. So at which point,
I actually was going to start with that, because I actually think that the first model we need to discuss to sort of put a lot of this into context isn't a Riot Quest model, it's the Hermit.
Yes, so I guess he started the ball, right?
Yeah, no, he was in the middle of the Riot Quest. There was certainly Riot Quest out before Hermit, I'm sure.
So Riot Quest is, if you listen to the awful Saturday morning music, it tells you how this after the claiming, right? Riot Quest. So it's the apocalyptic future after the Infernals have smashed Immigrant to shreds. But obviously Hermit was coming out at the same time, obviously as the part of the Oblivion box set. If you want to look back at that, it's apparently really cool. I really want to get around to finding a copy and actually doing the narrative stuff, because I think it's be interesting.
That's your classic post WTC kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Do leagues and do some alternative history stuff. But obviously he came out then. Go on, sorry.
The point I'm making is that a lot of factions will need to pick between a mercenary or minion Riot Quest models or the Hermit.
Yeah, and the
So
Hermit,
for things that aren't as good as the Hermit, that's going to have a real impact.
yeah, it's a good way to scale it, right? And the Hermit, obviously, when he came out, was just a carte blanche. Everyone can take him. Every single faction can fit him in. And he does good stuff for an awful lot of lists. But yeah, so we'll start off with. Well, obviously we got an idea. So we know Hermit is baller, and it's not hard to justify fitting the Hermit in. But obviously, the factions that don't have free access to a ton of minions and mercs, which is most factions, apart from trolls. Trolls have got pretty free access, right, from taking VOD and.
Well, in a way, most minions factions do, because if you think you've got the circle, the circle
Secret
theme
Masters,
force,
yeah.
Secret Masters, you've got there is a Legion one, but
Oracles,
the Legion Riot Quest
Annihilation,
options,
but they're not great.
yeah, but there's not a lot of Riot Quest options in there. There's the Scorn, Disciples of Agony, that's got a decent, reasonable little number of options. So certainly in terms of the Horde side, most of the Horde factions have got a half decent way of
a better options to pick. They're not as limited. Whereas a lot of the Warmachine options is that you've got your one slot or bust. Some like changes. So like Defenders of Ios for rep can just take Scythe. For instance, can take an Iris should they like it.
Don't feel sorry for Legion though for not being able to take much Riot Quest, because the two they can take, oh boy. When we get to them.
Let's get there. Well, let's start off with the lovely Balthazar Bamfest. So,
yes.
So I ran this guy when I was playing Mercs. I think I'm the only person I've seen run him. I tell a lie. With the I think Sean has him in some of his lists. He's one of the English English Merc players who loves his dwarves.
He does that.
And yeah, I took Bamfest in an Osram list I was playing. I was pairing Osram with Aurora 2, which was super strong options at the time. And just him being able to put Force Barrier out and edit. You can put focus on. He's got Empower.
He's got Empower.
He's got
Empower and Tectonic Shift.
Yeah, which is very rare, but kind of cool when it does come out. Both of those extra rules, the Ram and Tectonic Shift, is sometimes it's just like Bamfist walks over here under Ostram's feet, so he walks like a mile and then slides something out of a zone without having to hit it. It's like, you've got a Def 18 Angel or something. You're not going to get rid of it. It can't be knocked down. You can just slide it. It's like, ooh, cheeky. And people don't know, people don't see this guy on the table enough to know his rules mostly, I think.
No.
And then when he is on the table, he's mostly there you go. There's a focus point on a merc, on a dwarf jack,
which is something they don't really have. So
which
good.
Is
well done. They did it.
So
strong start.
Yeah, so strong start. He kind of, I think he's a super cool model. He's basically like this crazy dwarf monk with a big mechano fist, and what looks like a thermal detonator in his hand. I'd say he doesn't have like a ranged weapon or anything. It's just like a ball randomly in his hand. I'm not sure why.
Must be the tectonic.
Maybe that's
blaster.
it. Maybe the tectonic shift is that it's just like some weird.
Maybe.
I don't know, or it's some Riot Quest stuff that I don't even understand. I've never played it. I don't even know how it works.
We're definitely not talking about Riot Quest.
We're talking about Riot's best Warmachine models, as it should be. It's a sport model, and obviously in things like irregulars, and I assume in the Hammer Strike ones, because he's a Rulic model, you can just slide him in, and doesn't then compete for slots like Hermit.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he's decent. I think he's got off a spot, but but isn't anywhere near competitive enough to have a spot outside of those like niche lists. Really, if you're not running a dwarf caster, you're not going to take him. I would say 9.9999 times out of 10. But it's alright. It's kind of cool. Have you actually seen him on the table? Because I've obviously played him. I've got I had a because it's me, I don't like the dwarf models. So I had some 3D printed stuff, which was like a lot more dwarvish, but like steampunk dwarves. So I had a really cool version that I made from, I think it was Archvillain Games did a bunch.
I played him. Sean's used him against me. He mainly just does the empower job, and he does that perfectly well. For 4 points, that's a bit steep, but for 4 points with what he can also do in a perfect situation, it's perfectly good model.
Yeah, and then you add like Ostrom's feet onto him, and suddenly he's like charging you from fucking a mile away. This little stunty dwarf charges from way back in the field, smashes into something, knocks it down, and then goes, "Sweet, I'm now here, and I'm pretty buff." He's like armor 20, I think, under feet, something like that.
Probably.
No, it's not bad. And obviously he's defense 15 versus range because he's got the whole the stuff that he hands out. So it's cool. Right, let's jump on to an actual more murky model. One of the pirates. So Black Bella, Duchess of Dread. What do you reckon? Like, I've seen her played, but I've only seen her played in Mercs.
Same. Or specifically, in fact, in Pirates.
Yeah, in Tabletop Chapter, right?
Yeah.
I
think she's Dash 17 with Riposte, and that can be, if you've not got a good way to remove her at range, she's really awkward to remove in melee.
Yeah, and then she's got Killing Spree as well, and tough, and she's a weapon master, and she's got Brutal Charge, and she's a weapon master with both of her weapons as well. So, yeah. And in Italian, she's a privateer, right? So you can sack pawn to
anything
to like a
little
privateer shit. Yeah. So she's pretty annoying to remove. But I think I played around with it a little bit when I tried. I tried like Bart Double Galleon, and she got cut fairly quick. I won't lie, but she's all right. So her stat, like if you took her on her own, I think, and slotted her into like Signal or into a bunch of Warmachine factions, she might have. She's 4 points. She might get seen. She's kind of like
the problem is she's in that armor 12 5 boxes category of a boosted blast damage from anything has a decent chance of just killing it.
Yeah, or even unboosted right half the time, or just take off the table. Which is
I always think Pyre Troll. Because I've played Pyre Trolls a lot. I always think if a Pyre Troll clips her, it's a boosted 11 to kill.
Did, yeah, and Pyre Trolls are so good. Like, heads up if you haven't seen Pyre Trolls in the new world, they're really really solid addition to the troll roster. Right, let's go on to some real contenders, I think, now. So the Boom Howlers.
Let's go on to Boom Howler Solo Artist, or as we can call him now, Captain Overshadowed.
Well, there's still room for him, right?
No, there isn't. I thought there should be, but having played Minions a lot with him before Boomy 3 came out, and then having played Minions a lot since,
I think
he just doesn't make the cut.
I guess it's the exact same for me as I was talking about earlier when I was like playing with Ostrom. He had more of a core because he could do repo on a caster, whereas obviously Boomy can't hoof it on a caster. So if you're playing like a caster that wants to get up there, feet, and then sort of dig deeper if you can, then there's
or even walk up, shoot a gun, get back a bit.
There's decent options, and his gun's pretty good. He's got big back, he's got covering fire, he's crit knockdown on it.
Cute. For me, the final nail. The point as a Minions player where it was a decision where your choice was between take Boomy 3 for 8 points or take Boomy 2 as a rec slot. But now, since the last update back into last year, you can't take him as a rec slot, and at that point, that decision is a far easier one to make.
Yeah. If you slid down to 4 or 5 points and you could take him as a rec slot again, then maybe there'd be some contention. But otherwise, and and I won't lie, I don't think I've seen him in a list apart from one of the Warsaw streams from the other week, because Barry called him solo artist every time he activated him. He's like, I'm going to activate Boomhowler solo artist, and continues to give him his full name throughout the entire game. I'm pretty sure it was just an amusing thing to watch. But yeah, apart from that, like every time I see trolls, every time I see minions, it's this guy. It's Boomhowler the Destroyer we see instead, and
it is. So let's move on to him.
He is still a beast. This is definitely a Riot win, right? In the category of do we have something that's Riot best or like Riot fish, I guess, right? For shit. Yeah, definitely Boomy 3 is Riot best. So he's 8 points, which is like he's basically an Axe Archon, right? He's just this fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he is. He almost is. He's the Archon that can be knocked down.
Yeah, but he's all about being knocked down and knocked down. Yeah, but like, what's he got? So he's just standard has immunity to cold and tough. I didn't realise he had immunity to cold till like I don't know, like literally a couple of games ago. I was like, trying to spray stuff with this priest. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, you don't realise you've got it until you play Colgrimmer, and then you realise he's got it.
Yeah, or until you play Gore Shade 4. And then you go, oh shit, I can't debuff him.
Yeah.
And then he's got Bloodthirst just for himself, so the +2 threat extender against living models, countercharge, which is immense because when he hits you with his axe, he knocks you down. And like, I've seen...
knockdown countercharges is it's one of those things. It does one of two things. It either your opponent makes the mistake, falls for it, and it ruins one of their critical activations, or the other good thing it does is your opponent doesn't fall for it and spends 2 minutes to their clock and 3 activations working around it.
Yeah. And then finally gets to you, and then you do your nip. It's like, oh, and that combo, Boomy's combo of a Dunian and him and a champion and the troll champ hero. So he's got Vitality Strike of you go up, you're like, yeah, this guy is such a pain in the ass. I'm gonna put like this warjack into him, one shot him, it'll be fine. And then the Dunian says no damage roll, but now he hit you back, and now you're on the floor. Congratulations. Yeah, it's brutal. And obviously he's got Thrasher, so he's doing an extra Thresher when he does it after he's done his first Thresher, and he's got Trash, so he's basically a weapon master once he's hit you on your ass. Yeah, he's definitely
and all that is sort of taking away from the 3 fell calls, which is probably, I would say, the main reason to take him. Dinner time is great, +2 inches of movement, charge threat on your war beasts. Shout down for +2 for your warrior models getting +2 to attack rolls. The amount that can matter, especially if you're playing something like warrior models with guns, suddenly making those +2 rat is incredibly good.
Yeah, because it is attack rolls.
Probably the part that I use most.
Yeah, he's basically great he's a super support model that happens to also be a combat monster at the same time. It's like, there's nothing to not like about him. He's definitely in the win category as far as I can see. But let's and that's for, well, do you see him elsewhere, right? So I definitely see him in a lot of troll lists and a lot of minion lists, and I definitely see him in a lot of merc lists.
So the issue is the reason you only see him in those places is if you look at all the fell calls, they are only this model and friendly faction. Friendly faction
and war beasts, for instance.
So everything he does is friendly faction, and obviously mercs, minions. You don't even see him in mercs, I don't think, really. Minions and trolls is where he sits as a friendly faction model. And can do all the fun stuff. I think for 8 points without getting those things for the other factions, the Warmachine factions he can play for, not worth it.
I agree with that. That's a very wise way to take it. Right, so here is someone that I've rarely seen. Boss McHorn. Boss McHorn? That's their name, right? I'm sure I've heard of
it. Is,
Boss McHorn, but So
this is one you see Boss McHorn with Ashlyn 2
all right, okay,
because she's a very, very valuable model to bring back under feet.
yeah, okay. Let's have a look. So she's
because if you can bring back into a position to get the combo smite off,
yeah, then
that can win the game.
Yeah, and she's got a reach 4 extendable like gadget fists or whatever they need to be. But like, is that the only place you see her? Like, she's a Jack Marshall. Yeah. I'm assuming you've never actually put a Jack on her. She's got dismantle herself though, so she's gonna do some work against.
Dismantle as a drive is a really good drive, but the problem is that all the factions that she could be a Jack Marshall in don't have a lot of good options for Empower, and that's where you see Jack Marshalls being used.
Crystal Guard, Signar, and Menoth. I guess Menoth has, because you've got vassals. You can load up your jacks. But
Vassals probably can't do it because it can only be a Merc Jack, and vassals I think only target friendly faction.
Sad, isn't it? It's sad, but yeah.
So yeah,
I don't really see it. I guess I can see how you can pour her in with Ashlyn 2 and maybe, but that seems like a maybe. Do you work? Is that worked into your plan of how to run it, where you put it in the
I think so. I'd actually go further. I would say I've not seen an Ashlyn 2. Ashlyn 2 got a nice little boost in the update. So since then I've seen her around a reasonable amount. I don't think I've ever seen an Ashlyn 2 list without Warmachine in it.
Fair. I need to definitely get some Merc games. I don't think we've got any Mercs in our area anymore.
No, not really.
I say in our area, there's like in the UK. Who's playing
in the UK?
Mercs? So who's actively playing Mercs that you can think of? So obviously Sean's playing, but is very much a dwarf hero.
A dwarf, and yeah.
Like all of the Merc players I know are currently playing the other factions they've got.
Andy Devine's been playing a bit of Thexus, I guess.
I think he's just been like playing around with off things to not play Karchev and make people cry constantly.
True.
But and I know at Sherwood when he played Thexus, he put some like troll post up asking people to pick what he should play. Yeah, and I was like, and I think if he really wanted to do it, he'd have played Siphon if he really wanted to show people how you can really do well with thing. But no, I think Thexus isn't a mem cast at all. It's fucking really cool.
Either way, Boss McHorn.
Yeah. we need some sound effects on the go. Right.
Oh, we should have got sound effects. If we were a professional, professional podcast.
Yeah, if more of you subscribe, maybe there'll be sound effects. So Bulkhead, I know Chris Davies was talking about him on the Dark Guidance Full Tilt cast they did the other day, saying how actually there is some room for him in the Kador lists. So he's super slow, speed 4. But he's got some really cool abilities, and
he does. He's got a lot of rules.
Yeah, he's just got a card full of rules. So he's got bulldoze, he's got dual attack, follow up, immovable object, repairable, shield guard, and he can make slam power attacks. And then you take him behind a bunch of your shit with Iros can give you tactician, and he just doesn't have to be fast, because when you run all your shit to jam stuff, he just goes through your front line and then bulldozes and slams the shit out of the way like a bowling ball, and then hey, presto,
and then puts a power 20 spray into something.
Yeah, and then you're good to go. So what's not to like?
I think he's a good model.
Yeah,
I think he's good. The problem is he's a 5-point model in a faction that in a theme that I think can take 6-point rep choices because I think they can take the large based the strike tankers for free, and so you are having to pay that 5 points for him.
Yeah,
because you're not taking him before you take the full 4 strike tankers and whatever the other one's called.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think I agree. It's kind of a choice, right? So,
which is great. That's what we want these to be.
Yeah. Rather than an auto slam or a completely ignore. And this is also the first Riot Quest model that's like belongs to a faction, right? So he is a Kado model.
Yes.
So again, it's a little bit different because you can't just slam dunk him to any list because he's a Kado model. So tough shit. If you wanted him, no. But yeah, like I was saying, no, yeah. If some of like the really competitive Kado players are looking at him as a viable option, then maybe you should too. If you're a Kado player, and go, yeah, he's a really good tool here that can just follow up your front line and knock shit out of the way, so you can get the rest of your army to unpack and get work done. I think that's.
I think it's worth just pointing out very briefly the weakness of having these models be part of your actual faction is that you can't take him in any theme as a rec slot. So whereas who we were talking about before, Boom Howler Solo Artist, if you wanted to take, or Black Bella, say, if you wanted to take her in your list as a Signar player, you can take her in any theme in Signar. You just spend that friendly slot. Bulkhead can't do that. He is part of Kador. Because he's a Man of War model, he only goes in Armoured Core. That's the only place he fits.
Unless you bring in Sorcerer, right? Can Sorcerer just take him anyway because he's a Man of War? Sorcerer 3?
Oh, I don't know what her stupid new rule was.
It's
I thought it was just a unit she could take, but I could be wrong.
Is it? I thought it was just. I'm going to quickly check. I thought it was she just could take.
Medium-based Man of War models. So yeah, she could take him. Fair enough.
Irregulars, Man of War. Yeah, so she could just take Man of Wars wherever she goes, which is cool, which is cute. But that means you'd have to be running Sorcerer 3 rather than like probably strong options. Yeah. But it's good that there's a place for him though. So
yeah, we like that. Well done.
And then the next one, I think, is another fucking slam dunk in the troll minion world. Bumbles.
No, just trolls.
Just trolls. He's an actual troll model, isn't he? Bumbles, the killer fucking polar bear. I'm not sure what his actual title is, but that's what he's known as, right? So this is another ridiculous, just beat stick. The ADs.
No, I wouldn't say.
Do you not think?
I wouldn't put this guy in the ridiculous tier. Now there are models here that are going to go in the ridiculous tier, and I think Boom Howler the Destroyer does go in there. I don't think Bumbles is quite at that level because he's.
I guess he's a bit more balanced.
Restricted.
Yeah.
He just goes in Storm. Yeah. That's all.
And he's only a power 13 weapon master with 2 attacks and then pitch on his bite. But like,
it's fine.
It's totally fine, and he can ambush. But he's definitely very good though.
He's very good, but he's not.
I think you've nailed it though. Is the fact that you can only go in certain places and like
you look at Storm lists. What two casters are playing Storm in the North at the moment? It's like either Madrak 3, or Kogan. Neither of whom are taking Bumbles. Would you take Bumbles over the second unit of regular polar bears? Probably not. You're sort of taking Bumbles then as the third, and all of a sudden then you've got 26 points invested in polar bears. That possibly feels like it's too much.
I do like ambushing shit with Kogan just because you're forcing people closer together, which means you're getting more use out of your cloud wall and your feet and stuff. But yeah, I do. And
then what happens is your opponent measures from the what does it threaten on the board? 14 inches. Fine, I'm measuring with 14 inches from the board. Then you push it a slight bit towards the board edge.
Yeah.
And you eat it with your stupid bear.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing it. I'm not a troll player. All I can look at is what other troll players are doing, and other troll players aren't playing.
I've definitely not seen him. Probably, I can't remember the last time I did see him. To be fair, I think he's a fantastic model though. Like, and it's a similar thing, right? So he's got pitch on the bite. So when you do your counter slam, your counter charge, you go in and you use your bite attack, and you're basically then throwing the model you hit. which is just as good as knocking them down. In fact, sometimes better, because there's a lot of stuff that's immune to knockdown that can be still thrown. But yeah, you're right. I think too much competition and not enough open spaces for him.
And at the end of the day, he's only armor 17 with 10 boxes. Now that's decent, but it's not as much as Madrak 3. Yeah. So he's easier to kill than Madrak 3. He will sort of die to a couple of decent boosted.
What do you mean, Boomy 3? Yeah.
Boomy 3, sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fine model.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he's very much a really good model, but it's just like there's a lot of good models out there now. So he's just like too much stiff competition, and maybe too restrictive by the themes of restrictions for where you take the polars. Pardon me. Right, the next one. I don't think I've ever seen this guy on the table. Captain Craututh. You are a minion. You are a minion.
Trash.
Right? Trash.
Yeah, he is specifically he is a gateman. So I think he can go in, will work for food.
Yeah.
But there's almost no reason to. He's just not very good.
Yeah, there's nothing about him that looks good.
You would only take him in blind water, where you're trying to get benefit out of no sleeping on the job. But the whole point of Gatorman is that Gatormen don't die. So saving a Gatorman from being knocked down, that's still just a Gatorman with one box left. So it's not like it's a game-breaking save of a model. They're still defending rubbish. So that and it's only 6 inches. That's sort of the kill of it. If no sleeping on the job was, if it was command 9,
I was 5.
Then maybe.
I know, 6 inches command. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Like maybe if he gave it as like a handout to a unit, it'd be a little bit more appealing. So he could hand out no sleeping on the job to a unit, and then off they ran outside of his command. But like the
drag on his ranged weapon is cute, but it's only 6-inch range, so it only actually threatens 2 inches more than he can charge anyway.
And he's only Rat 6 as well, which is there's no boosting, which is just sad, right?
Yeah.
There's
rubbish.
There's basically just not enough about him to make you take him, unless you just want to just play with gators. In which case take better gators. Yeah, there's plenty of them basically. Yeah. All right. So the next one. The next one is one you see fucking everywhere, and I've never heard him. Everywhere. I always hear him named Chuck Dogshit. So I don't think I've ever heard. No, I have people. I hear people give it.
First thing to say about this guy, I hate his model. I think his model's dumb, and I hate it.
Yeah, and I do not think you are alone. I don't know anyone that actually likes the model. It just is so.
Get your hand out of that poor puppet.
Like, yeah, was someone just? I'm gonna say it. Was someone just high and then watched too many episodes of Red Dwarf when they went, this is what this guy should look like. It's a hobo from Red Dwarf with his hand in the puppet. Mr. Snuffles. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched that Red Dwarf. But yeah,
we hate it.
Yeah, so we hate how he looks. However, his rules are fucking good.
Well, he's got a lot of rules, but only 2 of them matter. He's got Veteran Leader Construct, and he's got Puppet Master.
Yes, which is all you want.
And he's got a load of other cute stuff, like Banish is cute on his weapon.
I got fucked by that on the weekend.
Craft Talisman wins you a game when it matters, but mostly he's going to sit within 6 inches of his Construct friends, and then he's going to Puppet Master.
He's going to hand out Puppet Master to someone in the list.
Yeah. And that's great.
Well, so
he's 4 points.
Yeah, so he's a circle model, and he fits his way into a lot of circle lists. Like even ones like the more sort of flexible list where you see in Secret Masters will have some wolves. So then obviously if they're not playing Kruger 2, they'll probably have Kruger 0 in them, which means you want to have some stones or some wolves to power him up. And Kruger runs shrimps pretty well, and shrimps do like having an extra +1 to hit. It's like
he's one of those similar to Kruger 0 himself, actually, where because in his text box are the words Blackclad Solo, that means he actually gets in most of the themes.
Yeah.
Gets in Secret Masters, Bones, and Wild Hunt. And so you do see him in a lot of them. And so he doesn't get in Dev Host. Oh, well.
Yeah,
But
you can live with it. And at the same time, because he's a Blackclad, when you're taking him in Secret Masters, it means he can just sack pawn anything that hits him off to, well, any range attack that hits him off to someone else. So, he's not...
Off to
and he's off to Hermit. And he's just naturally got stealth as well. I don't know why.
Yeah, great model.
Yeah. Yeah, great skills, great abilities, shit model. Definitely what I want to say. So, yeah, the next one is a bit of an oddity again. So this is a Convergence model. It's Destructortron 3000, who I think has got some pretty cool rules, but like is a bit of a niche pick.
I think this is another one that really suffers from being 6 points post update.
Yeah, you don't want to spend real points on taking this guy.
No.
I guess if you're running your list around having electrical guns, so having like the Prime Conflux and Tessellator guns are electrical, right? I think.
No, they're not. But the 10-point heavy is.
Yeah, I know the one you're about. The one that draws lines. Same thing as the
yeah.
It is the modulator. There you go. Yeah. So it's the modulator. So it buffs the modulator guns and the Prime Complex guns, and randomly has essentially a knockdown gun.
Yeah.
If you're not immune to electricity, which is
if you are building and realistically, that's probably still with Orion. That was a list for a bit.
Yeah.
That might be a thing.
Yeah, I think it's more cute that you occasionally will see rolled out in specific, very very specific builds. But
and previously, before the update, you might have just taken him because at 13-17 it's a decent stat line. He's cavalry for some reason. That's a rule I didn't know he had.
Yeah, he's got wheels, right? He's on these little wheels, just like he's like Johnny Five, but on tiny little high speed wheels.
Yeah. he's a decent model because he's steady. When you could take him for free, because Convergence historically, other than in Strange Bedfellows, haven't got great rec slot options. Unless you want to take negators, I suppose. But you might have just thrown him in as an expensive rec slot and said, fine, I feel like I'm getting value out of this.
Yeah,
but now you can't. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's really bad. I guess, well, the thing I was fishing for was trying to work out what the other electrical one was. The Negation Angel guns are electricity. So,
are they?
Yeah.
How about that?
So you can see like some cute world where you take like Aurora 2 and he just runs in the middle, and then you pop your dual attack protocol. So your Negation Angels charge in, hit something, and then can shoot power 12 guns instead.
See,
but
you say that, Dan.
Not great.
No,
right?
I can't see that cute world.
No, it's not great. For sure.
No.
Right then.
Bad model. But he's very early Riot Quest. I think he was almost predated the first main box. He was super early on.
Yeah. There's a couple of the early ones that are just that didn't have that like power creep sort of theme to them, right? They were just like kind of there, and then it's almost as if. Shall I say? It's all. I'll be brutal. It's almost as if someone started their project game. It didn't sell very well, so then went, shit, we best make these models really good for Warmachine, and then we'll sell.
I don't think anyone would do that.
Would they not? Well, they're not there anymore, so never mind. Anyway, next is Dez. So Dez, right, is another one of the early ones.
Who cares? Dez and Goblin exist. Who cares?
Yeah, Dez. I have never seen Dez at all. I've never even seen the model until I'm looking at it right now. And it basically is just Des and Gubby's model, but without the good bit. You know, what is it? She's 4 points. She's got fucking treasure. She's got a momentum gun, but she's not Des and Gubbin. Like
she's not Des and Gubbin. Move on.
Like if you want another knockdown gun, yeah, then I guess look at her. But otherwise, look at the wonder that is Des 2 and Gubbin 2. Des and Gubbin and Dynamite Duo, and they are
two Des, two Gubbin.
Yeah, they are. This is a Riot win. This is a Riot best. This is some gold model. And I definitely see it in a bunch of lists. I'll see it frequently in trolls, minions, and yeah, I think Merc's super good choice. Yeah, Des and Gubbin with Osram is brutal. Like fire for effect or snipe. Which would you like? Well, you snipe turn 1, use your mini feat, and the next turn you just fire for effect it. Easy.
Before we even go into this model's rules, for me, the most incredible thing about Des and Gubbin is that they are an Ordic Gobber model, which means just by taking them as your rec slot, you can then take Princess Garcia Dolores as your, because it's Mastermind Ordic, and a Malvin because it's Mastermind Gobber. So Des and Gobber, even if it had no rules, the other strong models that it opens up are so good.
Yeah, you basically take one model and unlock 3 Merc slots, solos essentially, by doing so.
Yeah,
and all of very very good ones. You're not always going to want it, but it's the option is there. And then what's she got? So rules wise, they've got tough, which is fine. They're girded. Being super
it's a
good.
rule. Why have they got that?
I don't know, but girded is super fucking good, right? Just being immune to blast damage in a world where blast damage got removed from like 90% of the things that were immune to it. And it's wherever they touch also is immune to blast damage, which is fun. And then their gun is ridiculous. So it's a high explosive, and it's got a secondary blast, so it deviates off the first blast. And then they can do Project Gubbin as the mini feats, whereas all the blast damage is boosted, which is pretty funky. Where you're just aiming at something that's 0.1 out of range, just so you can get a double blast into the enemy backline. It's like seems pretty good.
And the reason I think it's such I think it is quite a sort of a tilting, frustrating model because range 16 is so far, and sometimes it won't do much, and sometimes it will remove half your opponent's army.
Sometimes
or
that
remove the 3 important solos on the back line.
Sometimes that first scatter goes 16 inches towards wherever they want it to go at. They obviously lined it up so it's gonna auto miss and scatter, and they just get a deviation that you don't want to see as it goes another 6 inches into your backline, and suddenly you've got no choir or no shepherds or no whatever support models you're like, oh shit, you're relying on.
Or no Rorsch, as I've seen once.
It hits hard. A boosted power 10 is enough sometimes.
Boosted power 10 kills things.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so the next one is definitely something I see. I say definitely. You see it with Cephalix and you see it with Crix because that's what it is. It's a Crix Cephalix solo. It's Dr. Stygius. Who is super good. He basically just became like a staple like support for Scar, just because he's just does a flat.
What was the old
heal.
one that she had?
It was she just take whatever to hand the sack strike, right? So she could top up.
She did that, or even before that, she used to take another one that did the same sort of stuff as Stygius, but just not as well. Yeah, and
now he's just like, here is 5 hit points back. You are happy. Yeah. Carry on. That's all he needs to do. That the fact that he's got other abilities is kind of cool, I guess. But you definitely don't need it. You got Spell Slave if you want to on all those turns where you're not healing Scar. But this is definitely less Riot Quest, more. He feels a lot more like a traditional Merc model, where he's got a really good place in some lists.
I get what you mean.
Rather than slotting in or being ignored, so it's definitely a win model, but isn't the breaking stuff that you see elsewhere. So on to the weirdest selection, Merc Minion Signar, which is Dreyfus and Flubbin Storm Patrol, which is a Storm Knight with a jetpack with a goblin riding on her head. just let the image settle you for a minute, just in case you wanted to see what the Riot Quest aesthetic was. It's stupid. But yeah, have you ever seen this model? This is the first time I've actually seen the model. Is now
no, but I think this is one of it's one of those models that came out during a lockdown or sort of during that sort of time, 2020-ish, that isn't game breaking. 2021. Wow, actually relatively recently. Yeah. That isn't without looking at his rules. I'm assuming it's not that good because I've had access to it as a Minions player and I've never really looked at it.
So
flying high. Flying high is a cool rule.
Flight, immunity to electricity, dogfighter. So got boosted attack and damage rolls against other flying models. Deal with attack, kind of nice. Flying high, like I said, pretty nice. Just a flat repo 5, pretty nice. And then it's got a gravity bomb, which is brutal damage, but she's like she's at 6. So I guess all right. Isn't going to hurt herself, and then she's got brutal charge on a power 12. So she's got power 14 on the charge lance. But obviously not have a lance rule because it's a signal model with lance in the name, so it can't be a lance.
Yeah, why would it have the lance rule?
Have the lance rule. Yes, I guess.
Fine.
Yeah, but there's nothing to write home about. You're not going to really see her. I'd be surprised if I ever saw her on the table unless her rules change.
I think. Talk about it slightly sensibly. I think it's one of those models that you're never going to spend your merc slot on.
Yeah.
Which I think means he's either going in, will work for food. I think, by the looks of it, it can actually go in Blind Water Congregation because it's a Gobber model. So it's either going in those places which are got so many good solo options that you take anyway, or it's going to go in Storm Division. Now, Storm Division we will come on to later on can take original Dreyfus, who I assume is called something Dreyfus, otherwise it'd be here in alphabetical order. There we go, yeah, Sir Dreyfus the Storm Knight, which is a model that I do see Storm Division players taking quite a lot. So I'm gonna just come to the conclusion that Signar players know more about this than I do, and assume that there's a reason that Dreyfus 1 is better than Dreyfus 2 because that's the one they're taking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'd agree there. So we're on to. Is it safe to say this is like the sleeper model, right? That you said you will fight to say that this
is the one that this is going to be my hot take.
So this is Iris, Fortune Hunter of Ios, because there aren't enough Irises in the game. This is Iris 4.
I think it's Iris 4, and I think between press ganger models and special release models and mini crate models, I think you're up to about almost double figures of Iris models.
Yeah, there's got to be right. So there's there's Iris 4. So there's 4 Irises. Then there's
we've got a lot of Riot Quest to get through, Dan. Let's.
Yeah, there's got to be 10 Iris models. It's ridiculous. Right. So tell us
here's what I think about Iris 4. I think Iris 4 is great. I think she's a really good model. She is unfortunately called Iris, which is probably her biggest weakness, really. And she's 6 points, which means she now falls into that 6-point models.
No freebies.
But I can say this as the only person ever to take this model to a WTC. She was great. She did really good work for me there. She gives Kaelissa, in fact, that it may as well say leadership Kaelissa. Kaelissa gets
Swift Hunter. Swift Hunter on a rate of 3 gut now as well.
Yeah, which is brilliant, and she's one of those models that over time I think is just getting better and better because she has that stupid rule, Fortune Hunter.
Yeah.
Which is a rule that sort of sometimes doesn't matter, but there's more and more characters coming into the game now rather than non-characters.
She's blessed, so she's going to ignore whatever you put on that special solo project.
I took her in my Kaelissa list purely to kill that stupid frog in Grimkin. when he jumps in the middle of your army and parlays so you can't kill him,
Yeah.
she can shoot him out from that position.
Like-
And that was what she was in the list for. And I thought she was great. She's a great model. Is she as good as Hermit or another Iris? No, probably not, but I love her anyway, so we'll...
Yeah, so sounds
gonna stick up for her.
more of a love affair rather than an actual good thing. So the next...
It is,
the
and I think the main reason for that, I would genuinely consider taking her if I could do it for free.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the same. That applies to Iris 2 as well, and probably almost Iris 1. That
Yeah, I've got Iris 1 in one of my lists at the moment, and yeah, she's
paying
wavering.
that many points for an armor 12 5 hit point model.
Yeah,
just doesn't feel great.
Yeah, it's rough. It is rough. Right, let's move on to one of the next one, one of the real big impacts one, which is Fiora 4. Yeah. So Fiora, the Forsaken, bad Fiora with a chainsaw. When Fiora's had a bad day, she's realised she's fucked it all by siding with the Infernals. She picks up a chainsaw and she goes to town, and she's freaking fucking good. Like,
so in this alphabetical order that we're going in, this is our first Warcaster.
Yeah. Because Azello has got some other word in front of him, I'm guessing. He's Lord, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is Lord. And she's great.
Yeah.
She's a really great Warcaster.
She's a legitimate top Warcaster choice for Menoth. And I think she's a decent choice for Infernals as well.
And I think she's one of those models that much like Fiora 3, which you're seeing a lot in Menoth at the moment, you didn't see a lot of until one of the models that we're going to come on to a little bit, the Living Covenant, when that model released.
Until certain little things come together for cheeky combos.
Yeah, really helped those Menoth casters that want to do stuff, but then not stand up in the middle of the table and die afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, I think she's definitely one of the winners out here.
Road to War is an incredible spell. Add that to her anger tokens, which are a really cool mechanic, and then a couple of other an armor buff, a hit buff.
Yeah, she's just
like a fire spready,
really decent like toolkit to be able to throw stuff out there.
And she's got resourceful, which means she can throws those upkeeps out there.
Not have to worry about.
Good model.
Yeah, it's
well done, Fiora.
Yeah, definitely a win. I think when she came out, I remember playing Tomash. She was trying out in Infernals. She was good there. I think now the Menoth players have picked her up. You know, the three Menoth players that are left in the world, or however many it is. Menoth players, get your models out. They're fine.
Come on, guys.
Next is Flubbin. Flubbin, the gobber. It's a goblin on a balloon, right? I've never seen him. It's goblin with a balloon.
Right.
He throws gravity bombs, and it's real sad. Like, I don't mean to like gloss over it, but yeah, no. Sorry, Flubbin. You just don't even get a look.
Here's the thing for Flubbin. 3 points.
Yeah, but yeah.
that's what he's got going for him. We did it.
When the fact that you're relatively cheap is all you got going for you, well, it says something right. You're cheap.
He's cheap, and he's a way to get Malvin in your list.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but you so are River Raiders, right? Or Swamp Goblins.
Yeah, probably. So I think it's a good option.
So talking about crazy frogs like jumping, Flugwug the Filcher. So this is like, I guess he's like a croak raider, sort of, but souped up croak raider.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And I've seen him in some lists. I know.
I think you see him in. I think you see him in exactly one list.
Yeah,
and that's Helga 1.
Okay, what? Go on. The Minions player. Explain the Helga 1.
Helga 1's feat is the feat where when a model makes a hit with a melee attack, it slams that model. And so what Helga wants, in order to make that as tricky and awkward feat as possible, is ways to get their models behind your opponents. And that is what Flugwug is incredibly good at, because speed 6, advance is 6, jump 5, then 4-inch melee on
and
his
he's
sticky
randomly
top.
mat.
Then
Randomly
pulls,
mat
which I
7 as well.
think mat 7. I think the pull goes before. Not that you're going to be doing it on a small basis very often, but you can then pull or slam away. There's all kinds of nonsense you can do. You can get into really cute little positions,
and he's got rapid strike, so he's hitting you twice from behind.
Yeah, exactly. So he really switches on some interesting stuff in Helga's feat. Now, in terms of him being in other lists, I don't think you see it very much, really.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. If there were a better way to get loot tokens, you might do. He almost feels like if you actually wanted this to be a really strong model, you would have the word, this model starts with 1 loot token.
Yeah.
Because those loot tokens give him parry, and lets him boost attack and damage rolls. He only gets them by hitting enemy models, so you have to sort of hit first to start that train going. If he started with 1, that would be a lot easier. But with Helga, great. And Helga's cool, so...
Yeah, damn right, yeah. I think both Helgas are super cool. Right, the next one is definitely one you see. So this is a troll model, General Thunderstone Brugg, who's a pig, right? As in
he is,
PYG, he's a pig model, and you definitely see him in troll lists.
He's basically Vengeance Junior, the model.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's got target acquired, marching orders, and get down his battle plans. So deadly precision is eyeless sight and +2 power on a ranged attack, which is pretty nice. Or marching orders.
Only when you aim.
Only when you aim. Yeah. And then, but for instance, Gunny 2 doesn't mind aiming his armor-piercing gun up to power.
No, he doesn't. And nor do barrage teams, and anyone who's played me in the UK recently knows how much I love Pharaoh Brigands. Pharaoh Brigands love this guy.
Yeah, he's got some real fucking good work, and then just casually has tactician and veteran leader for pigs in case you are bringing them.
Yeah,
and digs in for himself, so you can just
he's got two ranged attacks. Because they're all battle plans, it means he can do them and then run, or do them and walk and throw his grenades or something like that. And marching orders is a really... Champions are great models, but their threat range often leaves quite a lot to be desired. Even just that one extra movement that they would get from Brugg makes their base number 10 rather than 9.
Yeah, it's something.
It is something. It's 11% improvement. You can't say you can actually have that.
But yeah, you definitely see him supporting the troll gun lines for sure. So on to one that I've never seen.
What even is this guy?
Gorman the Mad. But I don't see any Gormans anymore. Like, Gormans used to be everywhere in Mark II, and just fell through the cracks.
Gorman the Mad.
He's speed 5.
He's got a spray. He's automatically a decent model.
Well, he's a spray, which does corrosion, crit knockdowns, and gets rid of clouds.
That's cute.
And is weakened on it as well. It's got a lot of abilities on the gun. But he's mat 5. He's mat 6, I guess. So he's mat 6, but there's no way to boost it. And does he just die? Armor 12. Yeah, bad.
By
the time he gets
within races. Crucible Guard players know more than I do, and they're not taking him. So
yeah. Sorry, Gormans, you're in the bin with both.
Yeah, get out.
Both versions. Gubbin's next. So this is Gubbin.
Again, doesn't Gubbin exist? Why would you bother?
Sorry, Gubbin, but no one wants you to creep through your models and throw a crappy range 6 high explosive.
No, but the only vaguely interesting thing he does is he's got catastrophic explosion, which when he gets killed, does a 4-inch AoE from somewhere and does power 12 damage. Which, is interesting, but
Yeah, I wouldn't build my list around it, or probably building with the list. But it's just a cute effect. We'll jump onto a good one though. Gudrun the Wasted, definitely fucking some gold there.
Just incredibly strong.
Yeah. Why does he AD? I don't know why AD. He's already half cut from the night before, and that's why he's already on the battlefield.
He doesn't AD. You all he does is he deploys behind your main army later in the deployment phases. No, there's a lot of questions around Gudrun. So Gudrun fundamentally is a defense against ranged and magic attacks buff.
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
Super good. Yeah,
really good. Plus 2 defense straight up within 3 inches of him. It can go up. And that's fine. Then he's got a gun, and that's fine. And then the big question is, why does he have a power and strength 17 melee attack with cleave?
That goes. Does the force battery take the gun up? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It takes the club up, right? So he can go up to like.
No. No, it's fully charged. That adds range and power, and that's only on the gun.
Right. Very sad. Very sad.
Very, very good model. You would take him if he had just kinetic distortion and force battery. Yeah. That's all the rules he needs.
Yeah. I think the only thing that he gets let down by slightly is that it's friendly faction. So you can't you've got to take him in something that makes him part of your faction. So yeah, if you're running him in Legion. You're not, because he doesn't give it to you. But if you're running him with Trolls, you are. So you're very happy.
Well, no, Trolls only in Vengeance of Dunia.
Yeah, but that's 50% of all Troll lists now, right?
Oh, yeah, probably.
So it's fine. Why would jump onto the H's?
Or looking at this, you could take him in Hearts of Darkness with Cross 2. And then he'd be friendly faction because he'd be an Infernal.
Because all of them are Infernals. Yeah. Legit.
Defense skew Infernals.
Yeah. I quite like Cross, but that's another conversation. I think Cross is
good. Gudrun's great. He's really good.
Gudrun's definitely great. Harlem Holden High, another super good gun solo. Brilliant.
Well, is he though?
Brilliant to take with Osram. Where you can just
he used to be
snipe him, stick him behind stuff, and just shoot through it.
Now, have you played against him post update?
I haven't. No. What's he changed?
He's been absolutely neutered by it.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's gone down from 5 points to 3, which is nice.
Yeah,
but he's gone from rate of fire 2 to 1 on his guns. So now it's getting 2 shots.
Just 2 shots rather than 4. Yeah, but still for 3 points. Power 12, ghost shot, guns, not bad.
The difference is previously. So I've obviously played Rhett into this guy quite a lot.
Yeah.
Previously, you had to accept that you either had to position your shield guards perfectly, or with snipe from behind a building, he's killing some Arcanists, and there's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, it's pretty
because he's got 4 with his 4 shots. Yeah. Now that he doesn't have 4 shots anymore. You've got 2 shots, and you don't have to position your shield guards all perfectly. You just have to position them reasonably well.
All right, yeah. No, that makes sense. So not the menace he was, but at 3 points, it's a decent gun filler, basically. I'd say. Yeah,
he's all right for 3 points. So he's defense 13 as well, which for a dwarf is exceptional.
Well, yeah, that's the thing again, right? So I've taken him when I was playing Osram, right? So he benefits from the speed bonus for the feet and the armor bonus for the feet. So he suddenly becomes like a little fucker of walks forward 10 inches and shoots you.
Yeah, certainly used to be very good, but not anymore.
Not so much anymore. The next one is one of my favourite Riot Quest models.
Here we go. Here's my girl.
So I hate the Riot Quest aesthetic, but I love Helga on wheels. I'm sorry. It's so bad. But yeah, so Helga riding a fucking ginormous hog bike.
So Helga 2 came out quite a long time ago. I think she might have been one of the earlier Riot Quest models to release. But honestly, she was irrelevant for quite a while because she could go in. I can't even remember what the pig theme is called because it's Thornfall.
Yeah.
Or she could go in Will Work for Food and didn't really do anything for it.
Yeah.
Then Vengeance of Dunia released. and that theme was exactly what she wanted, because she is so good with troll beasts.
Yeah.
So good. You can run her as a gun line, running a load of sort of the elemental gun stuff, because she's got Wild Ride and gives them all Repo 3, which for a gun light is such a strong ability.
Yeah.
Or she can run the melee guys to sort of make more use of Battle Host for the additional speed. Or you've got Troll Axer in there as well, so you're getting really good threat out of that. Her personal threat is incredible. If she gets to your caster is dead.
Yeah.
There is pretty much no two ways about it.
She's got I think engine of destruction. Just like, and obviously then tie that in with rapport. So her beast that's got rapport on it is definitely gonna just hit the shit out of wherever you send it out to.
Yeah, she is brilliant. She's a brilliant caster.
She's a proper fun caster to play as well. Like, she doesn't have anything bad about her. I think she's proper one of my favourite minion casters, as well as my favourite Riot Quest models.
Yeah, definitely.
I've nothing bad to say about her. Like, I can't.
I do. I have one bad thing to say about it, is that even she can't make meat threshers playable. Even giving them cavalry and reposition 3 just doesn't do enough. Meat threshers are awful.
Is that her fault, or is that just meat threshers' fault though?
No, but that being on her card reminds me that meat threshers exist, and that makes me sad.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Only brought down by the worst of the battle engines. But yeah. I think she's definitely a win model. Like,
absolutely.
Minions
she's not like
she's not bonkers. She's not ridiculous, but
that's the thing.
Really
we are going to be talking about quite a few of the warcasters, and I actually think of the 5 or so of the 6 warcasters, I think she's the second worst.
Which says something.
Yeah, it does, but I still think she's really good.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Okay, so the next one's a little weird one. So this is the Stone Lord Govel Godor, the command attachment for a Rulic unit. Oh, was he especially for Forge Guard? He's just for Forge Guard, isn't he?
I think it's just Forge Guard. Even if he's not, you would only see him on Forge Guard.
Yeah, so the Forge Guard get him. I guess played, right? Because he's got Desperate Pace for a start. Why wouldn't?
I mean, that's all he needs, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can also bring back D3 models to the unit every turn. So if you're not desperate pacing for some reason, like if you've gone in, you've jammed, you've maybe actually had an attack, and you're just there to be dicks, then you just bring more back every turn. Why not? And
he can start up tough guys. And he's got combo smite.
And it's also a weapon master with his. Wait, he's got combo. He's got critical smite and combo strike. He's all right, isn't he? This is like
he's a really good one. Really I think if you are playing Forge Guard, and that's a questionable decision to start
then
with,
you 100%
you are taking him. Yeah.
What is he? Is he 4 points?
He is 4 points.
4 points. Yeah. There's no way in hell if you take Forge Guard you don't put this guy in. He's so good, quite frankly. Yeah. But yeah, obviously quite limited. You're not really going to take Forge Guard with much. Unfortunately, that's just the way of life. Speed 4 these days.
Speed 4, but goes all of a sudden with Ostrom, they actually threaten a number.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
What number is that?
What are these? 4, 6 with desperate pace, 9 with feet, 12 with a charge, 14 inches with 2-inch reach.
That's like a legitimate number. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that with Ostrom. Right. Let's jump away from him. And let's go to another one of the older ones, right? James.
Well, this is the OG, I think.
Yeah. What does James even stand for? Do we ever get told? Jacobson's Amazing Iron Maiden. James, for sure.
Good.
All right.
I'm glad I know that now.
All right, mate. She's right. She's got a place with Aurora 1.
She does have a place with Aurora.
Where she can fly a long way and hit the shit out of you with her little weapon master claws with grievous wounds.
Stabby little claws. Which you can boost the damage on, and even more damage.
Yeah. And yeah. But that, like, I think that's probably the only time you see her.
There is, and this is just something that I happen to know. There's one other interesting thing about James is that because she can play in every faction, so she can go in Infernals, and if she does, she is the one model in Infernals that the Hermit can use the damage stopping ability on.
Oh, sad. That's a really sad point.
And that is, well, no, it gets you an extra rule on your Hermit. Hermit's rule just becomes keep James alive a bit. Not going to come up often, obviously, but she's tough to kill because she's def 16 against guns, armor 17, 8 hitbox. That is tough to take out. Acrobatics is a good rule.
Yeah.
I think she's
got a good suite of abilities, but where she fits is the problem. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Same with some of these. Some of these are good models, but you need to really work to fit them in somewhere good. And some of them are just bonkers, and you just fit them wherever the fuck they'll go, and you're happy.
So certainly, like when the early days of Riot Quest, when I was playing minions a lot, I was putting her in minions lists.
Yeah.
I was playing her with Jaga. She's quite good with in there. Playing her with Barney 2 because then her defense becomes really quite obnoxious to deal with. But the game has moved on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But fine. Well done.
Yeah.
Right then.
Oh boy. Karchev and Deathjack, malignant fusion. Oh boy. So, in a world where Crix was struggling and Kador were complaining, well, just shut the fuck up.
In a world where no one in America knows how to play Kador.
Now, you have this guy. Like, he is absolutely menace. So, I think it's interesting to see that when he first came out, everyone was 100% convinced that the Kador version was the strongest version, and then I think that's kind of
go back and listen to podcasts because I wasn't.
Yeah. But the general community was like, yes, Kador Karchev is the Karchev. Don't bother with that Crix shit. They're still shit. Whereas now, everyone's like, shit, Crix Karchev is the one that we're now scared of. I've definitely heard a lot of players say how that they just can't deal with Karchev. And
if you are a living faction,
yeah,
he is, and he's taken one of the good lists with either a Death Archon or
Dara.
What's that?
Or Dara.
Yeah. Or him. I just don't. It's incredibly obnoxious. Or you are
an oppressive list. Yeah.
He is. I think he is one of those casters that is dominating the way you think about your list pair at the moment. Or you do what I'm doing, and I'm just at the point where, you know what, if I play him and it's a good player, I probably lose. But I don't want to sacrifice so much.
I've not actually got a game to him. So when did he come out? Right, I've still not got a game. So I'm like to the point where I've organised an entire day next week where I'm just playing against Karchev all day.
That's going to be
the kids are at school, and I'm just going to play Crix Karchev, then Kador Karchev, then Crix Karchev, then Kador Karchev. So that's the plan. Is to literally just rinse and repeat. Probably like reset early and go, right. This is a foregone conclusion. This is going to work out. Reset. Yeah. Start again. But
I don't think it's worth us going on about this
we
too
know
much.
Karchev is bonkers fucking good. If you're playing in Kador or in Crix, then rejoice. Your saviour has arrived, and he's a big fucking lump of metal that makes people cry. There we go. Right, next one is Kogan. So Kogan was super good when he was free. Kogan was in every Krug list when he was free before the changes to like Secret Masters as well.
And absolutely, so I was playing him. I was playing Azazello at the time.
Yeah.
And absolutely, he's almost the first thing that goes into that list.
Yeah.
And then two things happened at the same time. Number one was his 6 points became more of a problem, as you could only take 5-point models for free as standard, and his smite became a star attack rather than just a thing that was on his weapon.
Yeah.
And those two things, I think he's still good. I don't think he's now good enough that casters like Kruger will take him anymore, but he'd probably still get in a Tharn list.
Yeah.
He would probably get in a list now if... Is your list taking a corpse mechanic anyway? So is it taking a crockpot anyway?
Yeah.
Say because you've got Death Archons or something. If yes, then you might put him in. But what you're not going to do now is put him in and then put a pot in to feed him.
Yeah. I think he's still a very good model, but yeah, just is kind of half overshadowed by other stuff, half, as you said, hit by just these little tweaks that have meant that he's not as reliable, not strong.
He's become a fair model in an unfair game. So
he's now decent rather than OP. So let's go on to the next one. Have we seen this one? Leadfoot and Treads. Do you see this guy in any of the lists that you're constructing for minions/trolls?
Yeah, you do. You'll see. He costs 7 points, so you need to get something out of him. And he's got Bulldoze. Bulldoze is a cute rule. But really, what you're going to be taking from if you are is Ride Along, which is small and medium base infantry, moves 2 inches. He's
got mini Slipstream,
So really, if you are taking him, it's because you have a plan for that rule, which will be an Azazello assassination or an Azazello retreat or some troll caster doing something in Vengeance of Dunia. You need a plan for him, and I don't think there's that many of those plans around at the moment.
So a bit more of
I don't think it's
bit of a finesse piece. You take him for a reason rather than take him into your list because he's just good.
Yeah. Now, previously, you could take him as a free 7-point model, and then you were taking him all over the place because that's value.
Because at that point, why wouldn't you? Yeah, that makes sense. Right, well, let's move on to the first Warcaster in what should have been Azazello, or Lord Azazello, apparently, as he is, actually. So he should have been first. I think Azazello is still really good.
I think he's still really good. Yeah. He makes numbers big.
Yeah, a minions caster that just makes numbers big and just has a bunch of cool abilities to make everything better around him, pretty much.
He's got options in different themes, so you can play him in Will Work for Food with a load of Archons and stuff like that, or you can play him in Vengeance of Dunia with a load of champions. Ever since Farah Brigands have got a bit better, all of a sudden his henchman rule's got a pretty good target to go on. Previously, you were sort of stuck with just putting that on a unit of Valkyries, which didn't ever feel too impactful, but now all of a sudden, a defense 14 reroll to hit Farah Brigands is actually quite good.
I think
he's
like the
really
minions. Good. The minions roster now, obviously, even if you just completely ignore the trolls, you can add to it. Just with Helga and Azazello on top of the old mainstay, it is really good. And then obviously, as I said, you then get to add Korgrimmer or Mandrak 3 or Gunny 2 and go, what do I really want to bring? Well, here these guys are. So I think he came in at a real good time and really helped out the faction. And
he did. He's a really good.
Not necessarily top.
he dodged the nerfs in the update like nothing I've ever seen. He lost the spell he never cast.
Yeah. Oh, you were sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, he's got really pretty good. He's quite Smelling of Roses, and is still definitely worth a look at if you're getting into minions. He's super. Another one that is just super fun. I think all of the warcasters that have come out of Riot Quest are really different and offer something really cool. Not necessarily
I think
always
we're coming close to one that I'm not sure that's true about.
Maybe. So next though is Linda the Forgotten. I kind of like the model. I can't lie. In a line of models I don't like. I like Linda's model just because she looks like.
It feels like someone forgot to sculpt her face.
It does a little bit. Like if you look at the picture on.
Who did it?
On Warmachine University, it looks like she looks like she's like just not got the bottom half face. It looks like a little bit like she's like a burn victim from there down. So I'm just about to see it. Is that too bad? That's what she looks like. Okay, so Linda is an infernal model.
She's got a load of rules.
And she has got a load of rules. I've seen her played. She's got
a load of rules, but if you're an Infernals player, here's why you're taking her. She's got advanced deployment, and she's got low priority, which means she can't be targeted by models 5 inches away from her, which means she can be a really aggressively placed summon the turn you want it, and she's going to be pretty safe until then.
Yeah, or an indestructible solo on a flag, most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and easy. If they haven't brought sprays, or if they haven't got something that can get close enough.
She's 4 points, which is the same as a wretch, I think. So you're likely just to swap one of those out for her.
Yeah, seems
good.
Good.
Well
I know. Evan was taking her in some of his lists at least before he abandoned the fashion. Oh, I've just seen who's next. Okay, Major Bennett.
Yeah, so this is where I'm saying I'm not sure they're all interesting and fun.
Yeah, I've played into her once, and I was surprised what she could get done. Like, pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, all right. She was a pain in the ass. She still lost, but it wasn't like a stomping. So she's a Crucible Guard rocket. What are they called? Rocket Man Warcaster. She gives Rocket Men flying high. She can summon a unit of Rocket Men as her feat, and then she's got flying high herself, Reaper 5, dodge, gunfighter. And a double flamethrower, which is alright. But in a faction that's got some really fucking strong casters, she's not. She's there basically if you want to play something different, which is fine. But
I would say the one really interesting thing on her card is Windburst, which is a spell that just sometimes randomly wins you a game.
Just from blowing away the clouds,
or just delete because rules are weird sometimes. Just deleting a burning building.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That burning building in the middle of the table is actually a cloud as well. So just go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gone. And now my entire army can charge you. Good times.
Yeah. So I almost think if you had a specific job you wanted to do and you sort of use downrange to boost the already insane range of some of those warjacks, and you almost don't play with that many rocket men. You sort of mainly have sort of a jack heavy list. You make a bit of use of Windburst. You occultate something.
Yeah, you're reaching for it. That's the thing, isn't it? It's not like a.
You are. Yeah, it's a tech piece, a specific job, which I'm not sure is required because Crucible Guard have got great casters.
Yeah, they bloody well do. Yeah, definitely. So the next one is an oddity. So when he was first out, this guy was a terror. Malvin and Mayhem, literally terrorized lists, and now, like, what actually changed on his card? Did he get any changes?
Not yet. He did. He got one change, and it wasn't even that significant. The change was
like
Killing Spree became Berserk.
Yeah.
Which means he wasn't.
Yeah, rather than through an entire unit and then a jack at the end.
No, exactly. So That was a significant change. He's a lot of points, and he's
Yeah.
not got a good defensive stat line. So he's 17 points, and he's an 11-18 Warjack.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's wasn't necessarily a nerf in inverted commas during the update, but anyone who was sort of playing either side of that update will realise that a lot of Warjacks got a point or two cheaper, and the Riot Quest stuff wasn't really included in that. So Malvin and Mayhem stayed at their same points cost of 17. Previously, I was as a Rask player, I played him in Rask all the time because 17 points compared to a 17-point Wrestler, you take Malvin and Mayhem for the bit of extra stuff he does.
Yeah.
But now it's a worse Malvin and Mayhem at 17 points, or a Wrestler or a Swamp Horror at 14 or 15 points. Yeah. And you're gonna stick with the War Beasts.
When points are tight, you go, this is what we go for.
Yeah. It's also a stupidly small model, and I hate it for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen an actual, and I've always seen people just like making them out of Merc Jacks and sticking some sort of.
Oh, God. I think he's in the attic, or
in the attic. This is how bad he is. He's now in the attic.
Yeah, the bad minion models have gone in the attic.
Right, so is his upgrade, Malvin Revenge Artist. This is one that we do see. Is Malvin has left his robot behind, gone full Arnold Schwarzenegger bad guy, and has a freeze ray.
You know what? I watched that film last week. Batman and Robin.
Did you do something to offend someone? Was this penance?
No, we're watching through all the Batman films, and we got to that, unfortunately.
This is why if you watch through a series of films with someone, you need to be able to veto. You go, no, this one is too bad.
No, I regret nothing. But Malvin too is better than Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
He's got a load of cool options.
He does. I think he's still a tech choice. So I don't think he's like you slam him in every list you can go in. I think it's if you want him, because the Rat 6 is the killer, right? You got a plan of where you want to use him and how you want to use him. But if you do, then you've got a freeze ray, which does what it says on the tin. So what's not to like?
It does. So I've been playing. I played quite a lot of Grim 2 in Vengeance of Dunia, and that's where I'm saying about how strong Des and Gubbin are, because Des and Gubbin can go in that list because they're a gobber.
Yeah.
And then Dolores can go in that list, and then Malvin 2 can go in that list.
Yeah.
Because it all sort of links in together.
Yeah.
And Malvin 2 with Snipe and Mark Target, is a
lot happier.
stuff. Yeah.
So because you range 16 with Snipe. Range 16, Rat 8 effectively is a lot happier. And range 16, you probably have turns where you can just aim, and then you're Rat 10. And
exactly. So good model.
Stationary every turn. It's sad. Cool. Yeah, definitely a good one to watch.
You see, I'm seeing circle players take him quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think because they don't care about having friends. I don't know.
I guess it's because what you take it in Kruger, where you're all just turning him stuff around, so it's easy to hit anyway. You're TKing him forward so he can aim, or just go and shoot them in the back. Effectively,
stationary stuff, and then TKing it out of caster's control range. Yeah. That's always quite good fun.
Yeah. So the next one, I have never seen this guy, Master Gurglepox. It's some weird. It's
a lad on an
arc node, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to read his rules because I've got a fucking clue. I've never seen him. He's 7 points.
He's 7 points. That's only really one more than a standard arc node is, and he's sort of got the same rules. His big advantage is that when you compare it to a normal arc node, he doesn't lose.
And it is an arc node as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's an arc node. He doesn't lose systems. He's got dodge and still at the defense 14 of that stat line.
Yeah.
And he's steady. Is the other improvement.
He gives other lights dodge, so you take him. And
does he? Dodging. Does he though?
He's command 5.
5-inch range.
He's command 5. Okay, well. On your first turn, if you've gone second and you run your stuff, then maybe your Arcanauts have dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's PNS 13. He's slightly higher power than a regular one. Obviously, he's not got that option of buying a load of attacks.
Yeah.
But he's fine. I can see
but he's a solo, right? So he doesn't come out of your Warjack points. I guess that's like the problem that he maybe.
So you're never going to take him. He doesn't have who arcs spells in Crix at the moment. And it's a pretty short list actually, because you've got Denny Zero arcs spells. She arcs her debuff, but she can't make use of him because it's only the Warcaster.
If he was a Warjack, like a character Warjack to take, then
she'd take him every day.
I could see him, going with Denny. And
yeah, absolutely. And Scar doesn't arc spells. Karchev 2 doesn't arc spells. So really, the only place you might... Scar 3 doesn't arc spells. You might see him with Scavarus, maybe, because Scavarus is usually going to spend his Warjack points anyway.
Yeah.
And then maybe you take him as Scavarus' second arc node. I don't know. But there's not a lot of great places for him, I don't think.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a design error in not just doing that. Just making it an arc node, so it makes it a lot more appealing to other stuff like Denny. But
oh, he does have a special issue though, so he can always be a free model.
Oh
no, opposite of that, can't be taken as a free model.
Oh, I'll change my no, that's shit. No, he's very sad. Then.
You can edit that bit out, Dan.
No. Okay, so the next one, like
right here
is she just
not even the next one, the next two
is the Meccano Shredder next year. So the next is Meccano Lilith, and then the Meccano Shredder afterwards. Is she just the queen of Riot Quest? Like, she is so fucking good in a world where gun lines are back. She's good. She's a pretty good fucking gun line if you're going to counter a gun line by bringing a better gun line. Like, she's good. Like, I see.
And the weird thing is that if you've never played her, you would look at her card and probably not get it. And
then you would get it.
Yeah. And then you would misposition your caster, you'd surround your caster with shield guard, think you were fine, and die.
Yeah, and then she'd be like, yeah, I'm behind the wall, I've got some shield guards, and she'd be like, yeah, cool, good talk. Bang, bang, bang.
I've got D-Cell up, which she'll just ignore with a Naga Night Lurker as well.
Yeah. And then she'd be like, well, this idiot fucking flashing his ribcage at you runs up, and then you're done. Yeah, you're mortality'd, and shoot you 3 times, and you're dead. Oh. And you go, oh.
She's really good. Run and gun is a really cool ability to give a battle group. Target lock, as we just alluded to, you don't get shield guards, and it gets boosted ranged attack rolls.
Yeah.
Arcane reconfiguration is a weird one. Makes everything on her card cost 2.
Yeah, if you're in that matchup where you want to be handing out more than 1 mortality, and they've run like if for some reason you're playing against a Madrax 3 list and they run their shit into you, you can just hand out mortality, then walk backwards, and then shoot a bunch of shit.
Yeah. She's good. The thing that I think that annoys me most about her is why is she Fury 6? That's not what Fury Lilith is.
Yeah. Why is she anything? Like she's just sucking. She's baller, right? And the problem is for everybody else is she can be run in any way. Like there's so many different varieties of how you run her. I've seen already. Like Children of Dragon seems to be one of the most common, but definitely not the only place. And Ron's in the chat here from Blightbringers, and I assume has a box of baby wipes next to him, because Lilith is just like everything that Legion really didn't have very good gunline options, and then. I said didn't have really good gunline options. They didn't have oppressive gunline options that wanted to go into other gunlines, right?
Yes.
After the double Archangel change for Bethane 2, and now they just take this one robot with a fucking minigun. Basically, is what she is, and yeah, she's baller. She's definitely, if you haven't prepped, if you haven't planned, then expect to just get fucked by her. Mostly, I'd say.
Yeah. Hope there's a building to hide your caster behind.
Yeah, or just you could body block, right? So she can't see through stuff at least. So at least that's one thing to think of. I played her against her with Kalissa a few times, and man, it's so reliant on who goes first and what's in the middle of the table. It's like, is there a house? Yes. Then thank fuck you're okay. Is there not a house? Well, I guess a bit ropey.
She's very, very, very good. Very relatively interesting. Not. I think she takes a decent player, which I like. Which I think is the comparison between her and Karchev.
Yeah, Karchev could just
a barely trained chimp could play Karchev pretty well.
Run forward, make sure that Karchev himself doesn't run forward, stays back. Yeah. So because he's the guy that gets killed, and then just go. Can you kill my jacks? No. Cool. Next turn there'll be more in your face, and you'll have less stuff. Whereas I think Lilith is more finesse, right? You need to put some time into working out your order of activation, what you're going to do, what you're going to take in it, what configuration your army's going to be. Do you take her in Ravens? You've got marked target. Do you take her in Primal Terrors? There's some interesting Primal Terrors this I've seen with her, or do you just go with Azrael and Zuriel and Thag Zero running a Typhon and just go all these guys are just gonna spray the shit out of you and hold you down. You're dead. Good times.
Right, let's move on and carry on with Ben Hates Legion.
Oh my god, Meccano Shredders. I've got a Meccano Shredder.
It's a thing.
It's so fucking in a game where Shredders were too good and they had to take Tenacity off Legion because you basically just had a free spell you would always have in your list from a Shredder.
I love that Legion players are still salty about that spell. It's been 5 years. Get over it, lads.
Yeah, but like that was it, right? So they had Tenacity and it was taken away because you just always had it. It was in every single list all over the place. And they said, no, you can't have that. Instead, have this threat extender that now is in all Legion lists all over the place. And it's like, well, if you're playing against a living army, maybe it's not as bad, except
it's still the objective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you just like, oh well, that's fine. You're just fucking, there's my beacon. I just aim for the objective, go 20 miles, and now I guess I put one attack at the objective, and I'll kill everything I actually wanted to charge next to it. They're super fucking good.
I think it annoys me as a model because I think it's what Legion didn't need is a 2-inch threat extender in every single list.
Yeah, some of the threats on Legion are bonkers at the moment.
When I sort of consider everything, the thing that most annoys me about the Meccano Shredder is that you can make one out of the pot.
Yes, obviously, it's people's belt buckles and fucking, the fucking spikes on their armor. You just like mishmash and go, all right. It's just
there we go.
It's just an example of how good Everblight recycling is together. The flesh goes into one fucking shit heap on the floor, and you get all the metal bits and go, right, now we got something good. Yeah, and as Ron Law, Thanks 2 can shit one out when you hit him hard enough. He goes, poops out a fucking Meccano Shredder. He goes, well, that's what he was doing last night with Meccano Lilith, wasn't it? Obviously, it was a bit of some sort of Meccano strap on. Anyway, so
really good. Riot win.
Old Grim, the ghostly pistol wraith sniper dude. Like, so he takes him. So we're on to Kador, and this is one of the few ones that is like dual faction, but isn't Merc or Minion. So he's Kador Crix. He's basically a ghostly marksman, and he's pretty good. Yeah, like I definitely see him in the list.
I think he's neither here nor there really in Crix because they've got incorporeal stuff coming out their ass. But
Yeah.
in Kador, he does give them actually something that they've never had before.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty okay. The weakness, obviously, of incorporeal models is that when they shoot something, they become corporeal again. But what he has to counter that is he's got Dark Blessing. So he gets souls when he kills stuff, spend a soul for +3 defense. So even when he's becoming corporeal, he spends a soul, goes to defense 18, and it's still very, very tough to remove.
And 18 if he's just stood in the open. But he's got, isn't it like range 14? So you can quite easily, you can probably quite easily put him in some sort of defensive terrain and then be like, sweet, he defends 22. You're not going to kill him unless you got blast damage, in which case, womp womp, sad. But yeah, that's
or he spends a soul token to use Wraith Shot and actually stands behind a building and shoots through the building.
Yeah, slightly.
So I think he's a really good model. I'm glad he's 6 points because I think it's important that you have to pay for him.
Yeah. I think so. That sounds right. Yeah,
but good model, really good.
So the next one is one that you saw a little bit before some of the changes. I think you could take him for free. So this is
I don't think I could name a single rule on this guy.
The Chained, Butcher 4. So I did see him in some of the older Doom Reaver lists, and then he just got left behind.
I mean, he's pretty much a unit of Doom Reavers, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's 7 points for one dude, and you can't feat on him because he's a character. Yeah, because you can't feat on characters. So which means that Vlad can't make him better. Maybe that was a problem. Maybe people were running him and then realised after a few games that they couldn't be feating on him.
Maybe because yes, you can't kill him with spells really. You can't really kill him with guns that easily, but he only threatens 10 inches.
Yeah, and with in a list where you're basically there to make things go much further and hit much harder and much accurately, and you can't help him, it's pretty sad. I think
he only goes in Wolves of Winter.
Yeah.
Basically, he's going to be. He's not going to advance deploy, so he's going to be sort of miles behind most of the melee stuff in the list.
Yeah.
He's going to struggle to catch up with it. That model.
Yeah, he's a bit left behind by the changes. The next one, all right. So
good model.
So in a line that has Chuck Dogwood, who I hate, this is my most hated model of how it looks. Princess Dolores Gracelia. Why the fuck? She's Belle, but with miniguns. Disney's Belle, but with miniguns, and I hate it.
I slightly hate how it looks.
Like she
I more hate how much it costs.
Well, the model or the points cost.
No, the model to buy.
Yeah, which is like 30.
Because it only comes in some stupid box.
Oh right, yeah, no, I get it. Like, so I hate that she could be like some sort of cool post-apocalyptic, warrior, like gun goddess, like, and instead they put her in a Disney dress, and she's rocking the princess vibe. I don't. It just grates on me, and I love Disney. I'll hold my hands up. I love Disney, and she just doesn't do it anyway. But rules wise, oh boy, she's a girl that has come packing some guns, and they are fucking good. Like, do you see it in a lot of things? That's the only thing, I think.
She can go in a lot of places because a lot of models on the sly are Ordic. So we mentioned Des earlier.
Yeah, you can easily slam her into any Crucible Guard list because you just take a Toro and then
take a Toro,
and then she just stands near a Toro and it's indestructible till you've killed the Toro.
But without being, without having some way to buff her, for 6 points it becomes quite difficult, I think, to get that value out of her. I'm at 13, 5 boxes. Yes, she's got a bit of. If there's other Ordic models around, she can pass damage on to them. But that's either going to be Des and Gubbin, which you don't really want to do that to anyway, or a Toro in very specific lists.
Yeah, I was trying to Luke, who's one of the Welsh players. I was trying to convince him to tweak his Aurora 1 list to take a Toro, so he could put her in an Aurora 1 list where she can just fly across the top of a load of models with parry to deliver basically her knockdown shot and be like, sweet.
because it's one of the things where everything becomes friendly faction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is why I think again she works quite well in Vengeance of Dunya, because that does the same thing. So
Yeah.
a caster like Grim 2, having her with snipe and bullet hell mini feet to use all her guns and mark target, all of a sudden she is miles away, putting down a huge amount of pain.
Yeah, I think so. Because obviously she's got what? She's got the bazooka is the momentum gun, it's power 14, and then she's got the mini slugger, which is power 11, and the pistols are power 12. So on her mini feat, where she just shoots everything, you can get like a good amount of work on, and especially if like you're taking her in something like I said, I was advocating to one of the other Welsh players is you take her in Aurora 1 where you've already delivered Hermit up the field, and now you're moving and you're moving your gun bot that just sails over the top of everyone, and she's randomly got Gunfighter too if you needed it, and starts just piling in shots and trying to knock down a crucial target if you couldn't. But yeah, she's definitely got some places where she super sings, and some places where you've got to really like engineer it to make her the work out of her.
Yeah.
Right then, so onto the lowly pig tank. So the pig tank without whoever is it Leadfoot is on Leadfoot and Treads is the character pig tank, isn't it? So this is just the pig tank without the special rules, basically.
It is, but actually, it's a model that I've used more, because Maylock really likes them.
Yeah.
The reason that he likes it more than Leadfoot and Treads is it's 5 points. You take it for free a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's 12-18 with 12 boxes is a really chunky model to get rid of.
Yeah.
It's the other thing that's really cute with Maylock is turning it incorporeal and then bulldozing stuff, which
yeah,
which if you try and think about it practically makes absolutely no sense, but rules
are rules.
Completely works.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, I can imagine the nightmarish thing of just bouncing through armies and going right that way, yeah, picking and choosing.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I think for if what you want is just, and you're only going to do this in either trolls or in minions where you're taking it for free, or you're not having to give up it's not even a partisan. It is a minion and troll model. It can't go in any of the factions. Yeah. There's a place for it. I think I would say more generally applicable than Leadfoot and Treads.
Yeah. Well, that seems great. Right, the next one is definitely one of the winners again. Scythe. She's just a fucking little gun platform. There's nothing not to like about her. Maybe
they tried to nerf her and made it better.
Maybe I'm wearing like my Retribution rose-coloured glasses where she's casually rat 9 every turn, but who can say?
She's bonkers in minions as well.
Yeah.
And I think she's really good in mercs.
Yeah, I think I prefer her with rate 5-3 than
I do think so.
Like I think
makes it more reliable.
Yeah, I'd go for that every turn rather than risking the double one where you haven't got access to Puppet Master. And you're like, well, shit, she's now doing nothing. Whereas, like, otherwise you're going, well
I think she lost a pip of rat as well, didn't she? I think that's more relevant.
It is relevant to other people, but not to me, so I don't care. I've got Aelith Veer and a Priest of Nissel. I'm quite happy for her to lose a point of rat.
She's got two of the problems that we have been discussing through this. She's got the 6 point cost problem, which means you've got to pay for it, and she's got the armor 12 5 hit points problem.
Yeah, but I think I think I can live with it more.
She's got stealth.
Because she's got stealth, and I've got Mr. Mass Defenders, so I can make I've got like 11 models that make people in my list immune to blast damage, so I can live with it. But she's quite fragile though for other lists to be taken. Definitely when you're having to spend premium points to get her as well.
I don't love the model. I think it's
there's two versions of it, right? As well. I think I got the shit one. I got the picture on the Warmachine University one, so it's quite like static. But I think there's one that's more dynamic, better pose version. But dynamic. I'm guessing she was from one of the limited boxes or something. But right. Maybe. Yeah. How about a look? There's like she's a bit more like sort of leaping into the air and shooting, and the other a little bit like Lilith 2's pose almost, I would say.
Awesome.
Right, so the next one is Shivers, who is like this ridiculous thing, but is like quite good. So it's a circle model. It's a circle Wolfsworn Gorax character solo. And it's basically like this little fucking angry monkey with a... if you play League of Legends, he's basically Teemo, right? He's got like a little hard hat with goggles on, little furry angry dude. It's Teemo, but without the blowpipe. Gamers out there.
He's got he's got a load of rules, one of which is interesting, which is mimicry.
Yes.
Which is once per turn when a friendly non-character war beast casts an animus with range non-character. Wonder why. After the spell is resolved, he can immediately cast it himself. What this means.
That might be why.
What this means is he runs up into the middle of the table. Whichever of the stupid dogs has got the bark that reduces everyone's defense, uses that miles away from a place of safety. Shivers uses it for free. Debuffs a load of the defense of everything in the middle of the army, and then it gets shot or attacked or done something. And that's quite cool. For 4 points, it's nice, it's value. He is held back by the fact that he's only available in the Wild Hunt, which is, by most accounts, not the best.
Yeah. I think there's arguments for him with the Storm Raptor as well, where he pops the Storm Raptor ability.
Yeah.
Off he goes. But yeah, and I wonder if it is. So Brenos' Animus is self-arcane protections, so no channeling spells within 10 inches of a caster. So that'd be pretty cool if you could do it. But then again, you're taking Brenos. Maybe. So
no spiny growth from Getrix.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, whatever Loki's Animus is, I don't even know.
Dodge, so elusive.
So fine.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Good model. Well done.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I definitely see him a bit. So this is onto one which we touched on earlier, or we touched on the second version. So this is Sidraphus, the Storm Knight. So the Signar model. The model looks really sad because it's basically the same model as Dreyfus 2, but without a goblin on its head. Like there was not a lot of thought gone into like extending that model. So you think you've seen this in some Signar lists?
I have, yeah. He's a chunky lad. I think in Storm Division, I think that's sort of what it comes down to. Really, he's 13-19. He gives cover to other models. He's got jump, which means he can get to awkward little places.
You can easily get a force barrier on him, right? So he can easily be Def 15 with wherever it faces the
Gwen,
yeah.
He's got a decent melee attack. I think he's at that nice 5 points. That's the other thing is Storm Division doesn't have a huge amount of great rec slot options.
Yeah.
So Dreyfus fills one of those at 5 points quite nicely.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. And I think he's just a nice flag sitting solo, or eventually he goes and contests their flag or zone late on. He's awkward to kill. Takes a more effort than he's worth to get rid of him.
Yeah, and hits decently bad, decently hard when he gets there. So like power 14 with flank. When he's charging something with his lance, which is not a lance, obviously. Fuck Signar. This is why no one likes Signar still. Give them lances. Right, we'll jump on to the next one. Stone Cold Black Bella.
Right, this is the Black Bella I have seen. I think I didn't realise there were two Black Bellas in Riot Quest.
Yeah.
This is one with the bird that attacks you. Yes. Yeah. She's good. I think she is good. So you do see, this is the one you do. Here you go. Call to Sacrifice Sea Dog. This is why you see her quite a lot. She's very tough to get rid of. A dual attack, which is great. A bird does stuff. She's got chain weapon master. Got Thresher by another name for some reason.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna bounce and go and put one of my kids back to bed while you go through the rest of Bella and start on the teams. I shall be back with you in a minute. So
sounds.
You and Ben's capable hands.
Right, we've got rid of Dan. I can take over the stream now. No, so I know Dan Price, a player in the UK, who has used Black Bella in a pirate list quite a lot. And I think she's a perfectly good model. She goes in quite a few themes actually, which I hadn't realised. It goes in flames as well, which is nice. But I think without that Call to Sacrifice Sea Dog, I think she does lose quite a lot of value. That is the way to use her, because defense 15, so she's not going to just be sort of a beacon to try and kill sea dogs for free. She's going to sit in an awkward spot, be difficult to kill. And then if she does get off a decent Blood Reaper attack, 4-inch melee range, attacks everyone within that PNS 10 Weapon Master, can do a lot of work. Again, not one that you're going to really see outside of the themes that are specifically designed for. But we'll do a job in there and be absolutely fine. I will move on now. So we've got the 4 Horsemen. I think I'll just have a quick look at the stuff going forward. I think it's the only sort of Grimkin specific Riot Quest model, and it's all right. It's in an odd place in that a lot of Grimkin players for a long time have been trying to work out how Bump in the Night works as a theme. It seems to be a theme that's gone through so many changes over the years, between the pigs getting better, the Horseman UA coming out, making that a bit more interesting, then the Pumpkinhead lads, whose name I have never committed to memory, they suddenly got a bit more interesting with their UA. I don't think it's a theme that's never settled, and has probably always remained second fiddle to the Warjack thing, to the Warbeast theme. And so as a result, and again, we're looking at a 6-point model, so it's not a model that's been taken for free. And I think there's always been something more interesting in that theme, whether it's a theme that's been a bit more Warbeast heavy, sort of something like a Wanderer list that's taking 3 or 4 Clockatrices and then just a couple of units on the side, or whether it's a unit that's going full spam on infantry with the Pumpkin lads. There never quite seems to be a place that the 4 Horsemen fits. They do have the Ancient Shroud, so at 4 boxes, they are going to take a bit of killing, which again is nice for potentially sitting on a flag, and they have a lot of special rules in the end of all things. Which, has got tough removal, which is nice, and a couple of bits and pieces, but none of these are necessarily fixing the problems that Grimkin have. Fine model, cool model visually, like them a lot, but don't sort of quite get the job done. Just give me 1 second, I just need to step away pretty much.
There we go. I am back. How were we up to, Ben? Sorry.
We're doing all right. I've gone through the 4 Horsemans. I don't know if you agree with me, but as I was sort of saying, they're basically fine, but no one really knows how Bump in the Night works. So it's never
I think
settled.
they're just like a little bit too expensive to fit into things. They've never been able to be a rec point. They got good rules, but they just don't quite go far enough, and they're just a bit too expensive. I think that's the crux of them.
Very much right. So we're on to another interesting one then now.
Yeah, really fucking strong tech piece for where it fits in is the Living Covenant.
The Living Covenant.
So it's a Menoth solo, but obviously, crucially, you can take it in Infernals as well if you're playing the Hearts of Darkness Infernal Testers, the Fiora, any version of Fiora. And there's nothing that's not fucking gold about this guy, right? It's a killer genie coming out of a book that casually has this magic gun in his pants somewhere. I don't know what it's meant to be.
So he's got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
We are getting on time-wise. So that's the thing that has most changed things for Fiora 3 and Fiora 4 especially. And I touched on this when we were talking about Fiora 4 earlier, is Sanctuary Gate.
Yeah.
Which pulls back any model, but realistically it's the Warcaster, and immediately places that model within 2 inches of itself. So the way that works in practice, especially with sort of Fiora 3 is the best example, I think.
Yeah. She
can cast Insight, she can bomb up into the middle of the table.
Flamethrower the shit out of stuff.
4.9 inches away from the back of this guy. You do all your activations, and then you use Sanctuary Gate and pull her back to a position of safety.
Even more so, right? She can go well forward. She can Insight, go forward. She's fast as fuck on her horse. Does a double flamethrower, then repos back into range of this guy.
Into the 5 inches.
Into the 5 inches, and then he pulls her back whichever side of her he wants. Wards of Faith is like really good as well, just generally, just giving mage static to the monster, so you can just give her mage static every turn to your caster as long as they're near him, for free, and just casually the Admonisher gun is just really good. Like he just brings.
Sorry, I'm going to have to leave you just for a second.
That's right. So I think he just brings like this whole suite of really cool abilities to come and either bring a really good gun that you can get an extra shot out of, which is a power 14 plus D3 nearest enemy models within 4 inches to get another power 10 on each of them. So you're digging pretty deep at that point, and you can use Fate of the Heavens to change that into rate of fire 2 and up to range 14. There's nothing on this guy's card you do like.
Does a lot of work.
And casually has Isle of Sight and Ancient Shroud and Hyper Regen. So if you do start to get him down, he just regens D3 points at the start of his mission.
Unlike the original Covenant, it doesn't count as a small base model because it's a straight medium, which means you can't crit consume it with Hyperion, which is a real shame.
Or with the lovely frog that you mentioned earlier.
Indeed, yeah.
He's absolutely I think has changed how you can play some of the Fioras and other Melocasters for sure. Definitely, I can't imagine not wanting him if you're playing with Menoth in either faction that plays Menoth. Next is the Terrorizer. I can't say I love the model. It's basically an Agonizer, right, with a slight pirate skew to it. But
I think this model defines the Riot Quest aesthetic.
Yeah,
better than any other.
Okay. Just add more guns to any model you want to play in Riot Quest, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And Riot Quest and some flavour, like appendage or apparel. In this case, you've got some sort of piratey outfit, vaguely-ish.
What I like on him is he does have a little bit of fluff because you've got Animosity Rasheth, because the fluff is that he is one of the lads that's carrying Rasheth around. And I really like that as a bit of a rule.
Yeah. Regrets his life choices. Now hates Rasheth for it. Obviously,
he's got a load of attacks.
Yeah, it's a nice cheap rush source. That's the big thing. And definitely fits in plenty of places in Scorn. Everyone wants Rush, where you don't have to spend as many points to get it. Like that's like a no-brainer, right? I think that's literally as far as you have to go with him.
And I think Disciples of Agony can, which is the only theme he goes in without being with Naresh.
Naresh, yeah.
Why would you do that? I think he can be taken as a free option.
Maybe.
Yes, because non-character agonizer war beast. So no, you do have to pay the 7 points for it, but that's still perfectly fine, I think, for what you get.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll jump on to one of the few ones I was allowed to take as Grimkin is the Wastelander. So if you want they Ifrits. So they're, I don't even know, the Ifrits kind of look a little bit like the Scorn, like dudes like emaciated, like slightly non-humanish.
Yeah,
humanoid but not quite humans. But he's got
this guy's interesting.
Pretty cool skills.
Yeah, but I think when he first released, I think this is one of the models that everyone was quite worried about, and then just sort of
didn't really get seen a lot. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I guess I do see him in some lists. I've taken him in some Grimkin lists on occasion, but and I think I've definitely seen him in Minions lists. But
so the rule combination, of course, is take a bullet, which is sort of shield guard, but when the attack is declared rather than when the attack is hit. So the attack is declared. He says he'll take it, and then he sits there at defense 17 against the gun. And then the deflect rule is when a model misses him with a non-spray attack.
Yeah,
that model becomes the target and is hit.
Yeah, I can imagine as a minion player sticking him behind a wall in front of a juicy target and hoping that a gunny 2 player doesn't realise the rule exists and shooting them, and then be like, gunny now shoots this guy. Seems real bad for anyone that falls in. It's full on a trap card, right?
Yeah, it is, and the nice thing about it is that because it's not shield guard, you can use take a bullet, try and make the deflect work, and if they do happen to hit, you can then shield guard it onto something else. Yeah, which is nice. He's also got decapitation and with a weapon master power 10 attack, and that
and sprint at the end.
So he's a decent model, but he's one of those I think people thought was going to be a relatively big deal, and then just sort of
didn't quite live up to expectations, even though it's a good model. Yeah, I think that's fair. So the next one is another one that's like made quite an impact to Signar is Captain Carly, the random Trencher Express team weapon attachment. Like, I think I played against Golly like a couple of weeks ago, and he had it, and I was like, what the fuck did she do? Wait, what? It's like, oh yes, so the Trencher guys get Hunter, and once a turn they can make an extra attack too. And it's like, when you've got like a really impactful unit like a Trencher Express team shooting out grievous shots, suddenly when
especially yeah, because the Master Gunner can make it shoot again.
Yeah, so
and then Carly can make it shoot again. So all of a sudden, one of those lads can put three shots out.
3 power 14 grievous wound thunderbolt shots in. Yeah,
and then she's actually got a decent gun herself.
Yeah, she's got like a power 14. Yeah, she's got power 14 gun herself, just randomly.
Yeah,
yeah, she's definitely a nice
model. 3 points.
Nice pick in the Trencher scene, basically. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tubbin. Oh, Tubbin. All right, I was about to say, who's Tubbin? And then looked at the picture and I was like, oh, this is Tubbin. Tubbin is who the fuck makes
It's the battle engine one, isn't it?
Yes, you bring a Tubbin when you're running like a battle engine, and you just want some fucking ridiculous work out of them. So you just got 2-up battle engine. So all attack and damage rolls from next basic attack are boosted. And if you're running a war wagon, that's pretty good shots. Like
that is pretty good shots.
Yeah, like that's
anything with a spray. Anything with a spray basically is what you want to be trying to
Yeah, ideal world.
Yeah.
But obviously it is a minion merc model that runs with Crucible Guard, Signar and Kador. So imagine
I don't know why you don't see this guy more with Crucible Guard.
Yeah, surely this guy just sits behind trains, lovingly caressing them and making them kill the fucking world. I know he wasn't out when like my locals started wanting to play him, so we've obviously, you know, the 3D designer that we've got in our meta design a version went, right, here we go, just print him out. I assume he's now actually out.
I think he is. Yeah, but just take any goblin, put an axe and a shield on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, easy, right? But like, so he'll run with Circle and Trollbloods too. So I guess like the Fulcrum probably likes it.
Yeah, but come on,
you have to be running a Fulcrum to do that, which is not...
Everyone converted their Fulcrums to be Wells of Orboros some time ago,
or just nice terrain pieces for a different game.
Yeah.
Why not? I can't complain. One of my Thrones of Everlight is definitely Age of Sigmar terrain now. So anyway, but yeah, he's baller. He's cheap, and he just makes a battle engine sing if you want to. I'm surprised we don't see more of him.
Yeah.
So this next guy is someone I have never fucking seen or heard of in my life. Underboss Vizkoya.
Yes.
But you don't really see any of like the Kador criminals, whatever they're called.
No.
What are they called? I can't even bloody remember.
I don't know, but I'm going to be calling them that from now on.
These guys, the Kador criminal dudes.
It's
Kador Mafia, right? And yeah, like he's got some rules. He's got Fortune Hunter, but a range 8 gun on Fortune Hunter, which is significant.
Kayazi is the word we were looking for.
Yeah, there we go. But like he's got like a good suite of stuff. He's got parry, stealth, tough, creeper, the same as Gubbin, dual attack, duelist, a Fortune Hunter, and a grapple gun. So he's got pull and reel in. And then he's randomly got crit stagger and brain damage on his crowbar, which is his melee weapon. But like he's def 13, armor 12. So does he ever get there? Only if you fucked up.
He's got stealth.
Yeah, but he's only got 5 boxes too, right? He looks quite beefy. I thought 8 boxes maybe, but no, 5 boxes. And he just does stuff on his own, right? He's not helping anyone. He's just got some rules. He's Rat 6.
Yeah, interestingly, as a more modern release, this guy sort of fixes the problem that I mentioned earlier, in that he is a mercenary. He's a Kador partisan, but he is a mercenary, so he can, whereas he can go in Jaws in the Wolf without being a merc, you could merc him into any of the other
theme, yeah.
Not any of the other, because Kador got some weird themes, but a number of the other things, which I think is a nice way to sort of handle him.
Just shame he's just a bit lackluster.
A little bit underwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
He feels like he should do something for Kayazi, but he just doesn't.
Oh my god! Right. So the next model is rules wise and stuff. It's probably like the Riot Quest model I hate the most. It's Weird Wendell. And like, so I played Grimkin, and you had very few merc and minion options, and he's just this idiot that I never really want to take. And I was just like, why couldn't he be good? And he's just not. He's just a guy.
I've never looked at this guy before.
He's a guy that basically has a gun that fires like gremlin effects out of the gun, and then when he dies, a gremlin comes out of him. Which is all well and good, except for he's speed 6, rat 6, victim stats,
range 8,
and range 8. Yeah, and it's like,
shall we move on?
Yeah, basically he is the victim that his stats will make you think. The next one.
But then again, I guess he's 4 points, and you get a 3-point model when he dies.
Yeah.
So you could almost think of him as a 1-point model.
Yeah, but then you just take a Gremlin Swarm and you're better off.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
he's a 1 point more Gremlin Swarm. if you look at that instead. So the next one though is super good. So widget mathlete archaeologist. So can play convergence or mercenaries, but if you play on convergence, she becomes so good.
That's
this
is a convergence model by any other name, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's widget 2, and she's got some cool funky rules. She's got like Jack Hunter, so she's doing extra damage against jacks. She's got repo, she's got flight, she's got archaeologist, which is draw a line on the table. She gets +2 to attack and damage rolls on something completely within your side of the table you declare. So you can basically say, this is how this game's going to go. It's going to be on this side of the table. That's my excavation site. She gets +2. But the super cool ability is her servitor launcher, which is range 12, power 12. If you're playing her in convergence, if she hits a model, she can place a servitor within 2 inches or completely within 2 inches of that model. So basically, she goes, I'm here and I will just contest your shit all day long by going, pow.
That's not kill.
Yeah,
that
just hits.
It.
Yeah. So she goes, oh, I've shot your objective. Guess you're not scoring your jack zone. Oh no, bugger off over here.
I shot you. And also, I've shot your objective. Deal with this little counter charge.
Oh yeah, this guy who'll blow up in a minute. And I think they sacrifice their combat action. Yeah, their combat action. But but that's fine. They're just there. Yeah. They could do all sorts of annoying things and be like, oh, there's this idiot that's just going to blow up if you move your guys wrong. Yeah, so she's super good. The first
she's only rat 5.
She
rat
is
5
rat
is no
5,
problem.
But she's rat 7 though. If you say that side of the board, before anything else, which is pretty cool. And then widget 1 is okay. So the first incarnation of her, again, a lot better in conversions, just because you want someone that's got like a repair and ancillary attack. It's pretty decent. Nothing wrong with a prime axiom hitting you again. Like if widget, the problem is widget 2 just outclasses her for how much she brings to the board. Like she's such a cool piece to bring to change your scenario game. That widget 1, I think, just disappears in the dust. Basically, it's the only problem with it.
Yeah, again, I'd say widget 1 is one of those as well. That, yep, she's got a decent card. She's only 3 points, but I think she's only worth taking if you're getting that ancillary attack. In which case, you need her to be having friendly faction.
Yeah. You need to plan for it, and also then it's that toss up, right? Of going, but I can guarantee I can just shoot out fucking contesting pieces for scenario with the other one, but that's the way it is. What it is. The next one I've never seen on the table. It's the wolf with no name, which is a minion circle model. Again,
very very early Riot Quest.
And he suffers from the same thing, right? As is it go in hand loot tokens? Where he doesn't start with any tokens. So it's basically, but only gets them when he hits his prey target with an attack. So even harder to actually get prey tokens to make any use out of it.
That's a horrible rule, isn't it?
And it's like, he's got finisher and prey, but nah, it's just there's nothing, not enough good stuff really to make him work. Sadly.
Definitely not.
Especially in a spot where there's so many good models to take his place, basically. So we're on to the last 2, Ysilla for Legion.
Oh god, this model Ben hates Legion Part 3. This model is nonsense.
She's pretty good.
Why is she magic ability 8? Why does she get to do spells? Right? Her spells are so good.
It's Veil, right? She is future Veil, but in disguise. So that the fluff is Ysilla was once a Nis Oracle serving the Empheral Dragon Everblight. And look, if you look at her pose, she's very similar to Veil 2 pose. I'm pretty sure that's why she's magic 8. She's meant to be Veil in the future. But yeah, she's got Puppet Master and Shatterstorm and Toxic Blizzard, and if she hits you, if it hits an enemy with one of those spells, she gets to cast again. She's pretty fucking good. Like, there's nothing else to say. Like, she's definitely she definitely fits a slot in Everblight in Legion lists for me. Like,
yeah, I think she does. She's at that nice 5 points, which is exactly what you want to be spending rec slots on. She's got stealth. She's great. She's really good.
Yeah.
Magic ability 8 is something on a solo that just, I don't know why it winds me up so much.
Especially in a faction where we can freely take a unit of Ice Witches and have another 3 Puppet Masters, so she can be Magic 8 with Puppet Master already on her, and you've got Puppet Master on 2 other things too. And then she throws out her spells.
Yeah, and that 4-inch, those 2 4-inch AoEs of corrosion, it's trivial to stop them ever going out.
Yeah. It's nice work.
I hate Legion.
Alright, last one. Yuri the Hunter. Like the Yuri used to just be like, you just like, is a bin solo, right? You just didn't ever bring out the bin. Whereas after the changes, I think both have an okay spot in some lists.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think both are good. Ambush models are always valuable.
Yeah.
I think which one you take comes down to, are you taking other woodsman, Cossite woodsman? If you're taking Cossite woodsman, you'd probably take Yuri 1.
Yeah, if you're not, then you got an option to take Yuri 2. I don't think he's as good, because Yuri 1 really got like a significant buff to what you can do. But there's always a use for something ambushing. It's a good spot to be in. But
yeah.
But as far as it all
he's
goes,
good. He's a good one to finish on. He's one of those, again, 5 points, tough, stealth, advanced deploy or ambush. I think there's a lot of K-Door lists. 5 points, tough, stealth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of K-Door lists that don't have good rec slots. Options, and he fits that quite nicely in Jaws.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so that's just like, that is literally the A to Z of Riot Quest models. And so as I said at the start, we did it for a start. But yeah, I think we have literally stuck to what I said. Is there's some of them are just toss, and you wouldn't even consider taking them. Some of them are decent, but they're just sort of outclassed by better choices in their factions or their theme forces.
Some of them have nice little niche uses.
Yeah. Some of them are like tool pieces that you're going to really want to take for some particular thing in some lists, and then at the top.
And then there's about a dozen, I would say, and we've not picked them out. If you've been watching this, you know which ones they are. There's about a dozen that are really affecting the game. Yeah,
that are meta bending sometimes, or just horrific to see across the table. They are bonkers good.
So I'm going to finish with one question then, Dan.
Yeah.
Would you want to see them all gone?
Yeah. I would. So, but it's nothing to do with the rules. It's just like I feel like I find the aesthetic really jarring in a game where you want like it's all sort of steampunk, gritty monsters and dragons and robots, and like there's some sort of slightly more sci-fi elements coming out of like the Retribution of Skyrim, for instance. I just feel like...
So I don't have that issue. And I think the reason I don't have that issue is because I'm a Minions player.
Yeah.
And we've got the Meat Thresher and Midas and some of the wacky Gator guys. We've had those always. And I think they look aesthetically, I think they look very jarring up to the point where if you were to put the box art of a of a Scorn army, and then put the box art of the Terrorizer next to it, they would look like they don't fit. But I think once you paint them all,
Yeah,
and you've got a cohesive squad army that the Terrorizer is part of, I think that issue goes away.
Yeah.
I would, I think, have all of Riot Quest go. I think I would be sad in a way if it all went, but I think and I think it would be a real shame for things like the Living Covenant to go, because I think that has breathed life into casters.
Oh yeah. I think some of the editions really have brought factions up like a big chunk where they needed the help. I guess maybe I'm not one that wants to see them go, but maybe I wouldn't be sad if we don't see many more of them. Maybe that's the difference.
I would sacrifice a lot to have Karchev 2 out of the game.
And I guess if you don't like the aesthetic, like me, you can always mod and convert stuff and make it like you said, when you're painting stuff in the theme with your army and they're all amongst them, it's a lot easier to get lost in the crowd and not worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely know people who are losing sleep at night trying to work out how to deal with Karchev or how to deal with Lilith. In particular, like those two others, the newest terrors from the Riot Quest future to be inflicted on Warmachine.
I'm all right. I've got people in my WTC team that say they can take Karchev 2.
Easy, right?
So,
yeah, it's fine. You can take Karchev, right? Right? Whatever.
Maybe, but I certainly don't want to.
No, but anyway, it's a really interesting thing to look at. Like we talked about the earlier part of the show is there's definitely like this idea that Riot Quest stuff is all bonkers, but it's really not. There's like little, considering there's 58 models, and maybe 10 or 12 of them are really good, and then maybe the next 10 or 12 are good, but in like specific lists and specific points, and then the other half you probably never see, or you'll probably never see in competitive lists, but people will take them because they fit the army or they fit what they want to be playing, and they fit like having fun, because plenty of people play to just push models around and enjoy playing games with their mates. So I mean, all play
this game for
fun. Yeah, mate.
No, good.
Yeah, so that's the rundown though. So yeah, definitely I think plenty of Riot wins, Riot best models at the top, but in no means are they like dominating like the entire release for Riot Quest. Isn't just shitting on everything else in the game. There's plenty of other models that are out there that are real hard competitive choices to take in your list instead. But yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, so I think that's us done for the night. Thank you very much, Ben, for joining me again. It's good to be back. If you want to support the show in any way, just feed them social media boards and click likes, subscribes, and shares and shit like that. It all helps. And we've got a couple of games that will come out over the next week from.
And then, of course, we're a week. And then
we're going Cardiff. Then we're in Cardiff. So. The Welsh Masters. 3 years. Yeah, it feels like fucking ages. The Welsh Masters is back. I think there's single figures of tickets left. So that means that it must be like 80 something players booked, I think. Back at the new Firestorm games. That should be super cool. I know there's going to be a number of streams for the event. I'm streaming games. I think there'll be a dedicated streaming table as well. And I'll probably try and like bug Dacre into doing some more. It's easy to stream, right?
We may struggle to get an episode in before it, I think, just due to people's calendars, but we'll certainly do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll try something next week. I might just do something on my own one day when the kids are at school, and
we'll do live from the event, and the audio quality will be even lower than what you're used to.
Oh, it'll be sweet. I'll get a selfie stick and we'll go on the go. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see you all next week, and we'll see what happens at the Welsh Masters.
Thank you very much.
It's gonna be good. Right, see you later. Thanks very much, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.